everybody. Welcome to Watch It Wednesday with me, Stacey Marsh. I'm just going to find you all on my phone so I can follow along. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I found you all. Not very technical, so just bear with me a moment. Okay, found you all and I've just shared us to Facebook. So let's get started. So welcome everybody to Watch It Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me. We are Wednesday the, what day are we? 14th of September. And it's been an interesting September so far. Hi Darcy, thanks for joining us. Very interesting September so far. Sadly, Queen Elizabeth II passed away last Thursday, so it's been a bit of an odd one here in the UK. It's really strange. It's incredible to see what's been going on, all the processions and the real formal ceremonies that no one in this country has ever really seen or can remember seeing. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's incredibly sad as well. It's sad to watch the grief and everything. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. We are hoping to go up to London. We're only about 40 minutes outside of London, so we're hoping to go up and pay our respects on Friday and leave some flowers for Queen Elizabeth II. And I just want my girls to be part of it and to see it all, because it's just amazing. And I do love the monarchy as well. So moving on from that, I thought I would spend a bit of time with you all this evening doing a little bit of crafting. I'm going to be using the lovely Cheerful basket stamp set, this one here. It's in the annual catalogue. Oh, there's no sound. Let me see if anyone else can hear me. Can anyone else hear me? Let me see if anyone else. Yeah, I've got sound on my phone, so play around with your settings. There's definitely sound there that I can hear. So the good news is this stamp set is going into the sale at 11 o'clock tonight, and it is going down to £15.30 here in the UK, along with every other stamp set in the catalogue is reduced. So have a look at that tonight, 11 o'clock it goes live here in the UK, and it's 24 hours only, so you have until about 10:55 tomorrow evening to grab yourself some bargains. Great chance to pick up some of those things that are on your wish list at a discounted price, and cheer yourself up for in September. So I will get started. I am going to share with you a couple of little ideas that are buzzing around my head, and we are going to do a little bit of colouring and a little bit of I've got an idea of what I want to do, so let's see if it comes together. If you have any questions as we go through it, please pop them in the comments. I will try and keep up with the comments, and feel free to like and share this. Don't forget to hit subscribe and you'll see notifications of future tutorials from me. And as always, everything that I use is available to purchase from my online store, and you can find that at staceymarsh.co.uk. So let's get started. I'm just going to flip my camera around so you can see my desk, or hopefully you can see my desk. Okay, so my desk is in front of me, which is good. I'm just going to grab a piece of grid paper. Okay, so a little bit of grid paper to get us started. I'll share with you a few little designs that I have come up with in the last few days since I've started playing with this stamp set. Okay, just trying to work out how to see comments on my phone. Found it. Okay, so Joanna, Darcy's put that she can hear us, so have a look at your settings and see what happens. So this is my stamp set. I shared this card on my Instagram yesterday, and I've kept it really simple. I've just got layers of smoky slate. I've coloured in that lovely basket with watercolour pencils and then added in the hearts. So kept it really nice and straightforward. And then I've carried on doing some colouring with my watercolour pencils for this one. And this one I'm sharing as part of the Global Design project this week as my entry. And I've coloured in the basket with varieties of browns and yellow shades. And then the apples are also coloured with watercolour pencils. And I really like the sort of look there. I've done a little bit more colouring in the meantime. I've coloured myself a nice little kitty that I will do something with next. And then some other things I've been colouring look like this. But I am not sure what I'm going to do with those yet. So watch this space. So let's make a little start. Now for these ones I've coloured them with watercolour pencils, but tonight I'm going to share with you a couple of ideas that I have but using the Stampin' Blend pens. Okay, so let's do a little bit of stamping. So this is a photopolymer stamp set, so it's one of the see-through images. Oh, see-through stamps. Oh, a random jigsaw puzzle piece. I wonder who's been in my craft room. That memento needs re-inking. Let's get a new one. That one's not too juicy either. Ah, much better. Okay, now with this stamp set, it's always best to use a little stamping mat underneath. So I'm just going to lay that under my piece of card, and I'm going to stamp my image nice and crisp. That's what we want. And then I'm going to use this. We've done the apples. Let's do this one here. So this is the Stampin', the craft products. Okay, so we can keep it very flat, or we can mount it. So for this one I'm going to keep it nice and flat, I think. Give that a really good ink, and then I'm going to line this up so it sits on the top of my basket. Lovely. So that is going to be a really nice flat image that we're going to colour, and I'm going to start with my basket. Okay, so I've got the bronze one. And I'm going to add in a bit of shading like so. Stampin' blends are a great medium for colouring these images with. Like so. And then I'm going to add some colours in as we go, and I'm going to use a combination of just different browns that we have. So this is Cinnamon Cider. Now sadly this has retired, but by far it is my favourite brown, and I will be really sad when this pen runs out. Not many people were a fan of Cinnamon Cider, but I loved it. And now I've got a light crumb cake. Now the other blends that you could use on this is quite light actually. The other blends that you could use on this is the skin tone blends. There's lots of different natural shades in there. Now let's go in with that light one. I'm just going over all of that really to just blend it together. I need to order myself some new crumb cake blends. So that's that. Now for the horizontal pieces of the bucket, I'm going to use some grey. And this is hopefully going to tie this together really nicely. Now let's just go in with the fine edge. Let me know in the comments if this stamp set is on your wish list, if you've never seen it before, or if you've already got it. And then one last thing, I'm just going to go in with my colour lifter just in that centre area to just really highlight that and just make it look as if the light is sort of shining down on it. And then for my handle, I'm going to go with a light basic black handle. Okay. Now we've got our craft supplies sitting in that bucket. So let's colour some of those in. I am going to keep this, I might go with some Regals actually. Let's have a little think. Let's go with some of the in colours. The in colours would be really good. So this is dark. Let's go light Orchid Oasis. I'm just going to colour in these bottles. I might do all the in colours. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's do this one here as the Sweet Sorbet. So this is our ink pad. And what other colour have we got? We've got the dark Parakeet Party. I'm still getting used to what these colours are called. So this is our nice green. I really like this green, but I don't think I've actually used the stamp pad yet. Okay. You've been umming and ahhing about using this set. It's a good one. I'm not going to lie, it is a really nice one, but it's one of those ones that I think people either love or they're not quite sure of. So we've got Tahitian Tide is another one. Let's do this paper as Tahitian Tide. I was having a look before this video, and Michaela Titheridge has made some beautiful cards with this set. Really, really nice. She's a genius when it comes to crafting and Stampin' Up. And then we've got our Starry Sky, and I'm going to do this one here as Starry Sky. And then let's do a paper behind here with Starry Sky. And then we've got another one of our ink bottles here. Let's do that up there. And our pens are black, aren't they? So let's just colour this in ever so slightly. This is dark, this is light. And then over here we've got our scissor handles. Just colouring this in really, really gently. just following that all the way around. And then the last thing we've got is our pencil. Now our pencils here in the UK tend to be, when I think about the yellow, just going to colour that in like so. And then let's just add that like there. So that is my little bucket of Stampin' Up products. Now let's give that a little cut out. And I'm going to leave myself just a little border of white showing here. Oops. Okay. Joanna's put she's umming and ahhing as well about this set, so let's see if we can bring that stamp set a little bit further up your wish list. Have you got your eye on anything in the sale, ladies? There. Nearly there, just following it all the way round, leaving that little border. Okay, so there's my little bucket of craft supplies. I'm just going to add in a little bit of detail with my white pen if I can find it. That's coming out. I'm just going to do a little doodle around the handle, just to bring that alive a little bit, and then the same down my pen. And then I want to add in just a little bit of shading on this ink pad. Just choose the other end, just to make it a real vibrant colour with a bit of shading to it. It's always nice to do a bit of shading, and then we'll do the same on this paper over here. It feels like that Orchid Oasis is really similar to the Starry Sky, doesn't it? I'm not going to lie, I still think I've not really warmed to the in colours. Definitely don't use them as much as the other colours. Lovely. Okay, so we've now got a little bit of shading on that, and then we now have this, which I'm really pleased with that. I think that's really, really nice. I'm just going to add something here on this little ink bottle. Okay, it's always nice to have a little white pen at your disposal if you have it. And now let's think about our card. Think about those colours that we've used. Is this going to work? Let's play around with our... Well, that's quite nice. That's quite vibrant, isn't it? Let's cut ourselves a little card base. So I'm going to do 10.5 centimetres, and I think this is remnants of a piece of 12 by 12. So we're going to cut a 29.8. Yeah, this is a 12 by 12 piece of card I've got. I'm just going to swap my trimmer over because this one doesn't have a scoring blade in it. Oh, thank you, Joanna. That's really kind. She's put, she loves my colouring. I do enjoy my colouring. So I went away on a girls' weekend this weekend, and we had an absolute blast. And it was really nice to get away with my girlfriends, have a nice bit of girly time. We had a few drinks, we had some nice food, we had ice cream on the beach, we did some shopping. And I took some colouring with me, and it was really nice actually to do something a bit different. Now let's use an embossing folder on this, shall we? Always love an embossing folder. And which one shall we use? I'm going to go with this painted texture that looks like this. So let's pop that in my embossing folder. And I'm just going to run that through in my machine. It's next to me. You guys don't need to see that. Okay, so this is what we are left with. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a... Do I need to put that in the centre? I think let's put that in the centre. Although I don't really like that colour on there. That colour has got to go. I think I might be in one of those indecisive moods tonight, guys, which is never good. Do we prefer crumb cake? Do we prefer the blue? Or do we prefer something a bit different entirely? Let's have a think. Give me some suggestions, guys. My mind has drawn a blank. Or we could have some DSP. Nope, we don't like that. This is the problem. If let's see what this is. This would be quite nice. Let's use this. So I'm just going to cut out a little strip that we can use. So this is from the host paper that's in the mini catalogue currently. So you've got Christmassy sort of patterns on one side, and then on the other side you've got just really vibrant colours, and I think there's some autumnal patterns in there as well. I was using this last week. Just following this round. Okay, right. Now let's get rid of, I'm going to use white card. White card feels like it's just the ticket tonight. Is anyone else really indecisive when they craft? I feel like I'm going through an indecisive period at the moment with my crafting. I think it's because what I'm getting is just sort of snippets of time here and there, and not really big chunks of time. Hey, it's all good fun, isn't it? So we have our thick basic white card base, and then we have this lovely little scallop edge. And then what did I do with my colouring? After all that, it's not here anymore. Where's that gone, guys? It's actually nowhere to be found. That's rather annoying, isn't it? Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, so we've got our little scallop edge, and then I've got my little craft basket. So I don't like the colour behind it. Give me some ideas, gang, please. My mind is drawing a blank. Just what you want during a live. Okay, let's have a look at these other papers. What else have we got in here? What's this one here? Green. No, we don't want green. no worries. Thanks for joining us. I'm having a complete mental block at the moment, so you're not missing anything at all. I think what I'm struggling with is I don't like the colours that I have stamped that bit with. I don't think it goes with the basket. The basket needed to be more plain, but we've done it now. So we need to do something, even though I would just like to throw it in the bin. What have I got here? Okay, I found it. So, do we need to do some background stamping? Do we think? Let's do a little bit of blending. If in doubt, do some blending. So let's get a little bit of grey. Grey's always helpful, isn't it? My grey blending brush is here. So let's get a little bit of grey granite. Oh no. It's really not my evening, is it? That can go in the bin now. I don't know why it's doing that. Right, let's go back to the drawing board and use this. Okay. So I'm going to pop that on there and that on there. Stick that down and that down. And then I'm going to cut myself a white circle. If in doubt, my recommendation is to use circles. You can't go wrong with a circle. So let's just see what circles we've got here. Stylish shapes. Let's go for a large white circle. That's better, although I still don't like it. I don't like the colours that I've coloured on this. I'm really not happy with that. So let's pop our circle down on a pad, and then let's pop that down on the top with some white glue. Like so. I'm tempted to put that under there, actually. That's quite cute. I'm just lining that up with the edge of my card, and then I'm going to snip off this excess like so, and then I'm going to take some linen thread if I can find some here, and I'm going to wrap this around my card. I think I have rescued this. What are your thoughts, guys? Love that. Okay. Thanks, Joanna. I needed to hear that. So we've got our little bow just there. Now with this linen thread, if it stays really curly and you want it to be more straight, just run it between your thumb and your forefinger and it will sort of straighten itself out a bit. Like so there we have our little bow. And then we just need to do our sentiment, which I'm going to do the same sentiment, which is you fill my day with happiness. And I'm going to stamp that with Starry Sky. And then to carry along with that fluted edge, I'm going to cut this out. So let's just follow this round. I'm going to cut the top edge so that it's straight, and then I'm going to cut around this lovely script font down the bottom, leaving myself a nice little white border. I love Starry Sky too, it's one of my favourites. Okay, so just following this round. And then we'll just closely follow it along the top, like so. You fill my day with happiness. Wow, that didn't actually turn out too bad in the end, did it? Let's stick this down. And then I've got one more idea to share with you, and this one I know will be all good because it's in my comfort zone, and I'm going to use colours that I really enjoy using. So you fill my day with happiness. Inside I just need to add myself a piece of white. Turned out awesome. It did. Well, I'm quite happy with it in the end. Let's cut myself a little piece for inside. Ah, thank you. And I'm going to save this to use in a minute. Okay. Let's stick this in. And there we have it. That is my first card all finished, and that's we've now got 3 baskets, all with something different in. Okay, I've not made all of those tonight, we've just made this one. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and then I'm going to share with you my next card design that is in my head. Okay, so I've got myself a piece of thick basic white, and I am going to cut this so it's 10.5 centimetres wide. Turn it round and score it at 14.9. Okay, now this is a card design that I love making. I made one very recently with the Full of Love stamp set, and it's a really nice design to use. So my card is going to open like this. So I'm going to use the same image. I'm going to use this one here, okay? And I'm going to create a bit of a nice fluted edge, shaped edge. So bringing back in my Memento ink pad, I'm going to stamp this, oh good, in the centre. Just like that. And then now I'm going to stamp, no I'm not, I need a piece of scrap paper. or masking paper. If I've got masking paper, that will be good. Let's have a look. Here we go, we've got some masking paper. So I am going to, masking paper is in the annual catalogue, and this is the piece you want to stamp on. So you want to stamp on the reverse, and you want to stamp the whole image. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this out so that it's on the line. Okay, the reason I'm going to do this is going to use this as a mask over the top so that it then looks like things are behind one another. You can do this with a post-it note, but this masking paper is really nice to use. It's quite reasonable, you get quite a bit in the packet. Okay, and with this you want to make sure you're cutting out on that line. Okay, so now I'm going to peel the back of my masking paper off. Just going to de-stick it a little bit with my fingers just to take some of that tackiness off, and then I'm going to lay this over my image, okay, like that, and then we can carry on stamping. So now let's put that over there, and then we're going to leave that stuck down, and we're going to do the same this end, like so. Okay, pop our lid back on. We can now peel off our masking paper really carefully, and there you have your image. Don't worry, we're going to cover that in a moment. We have our image nicely stuck down, so now we can colour this in, and I'm going to stick right in my comfort zone this time, guys, and I'm going with subtles. If in doubt, use a subtle. Well, that's my motto anyway. Subtles for me are my favourite. I say they're my favourite, but actually I'm a big fan of the Regals. Okay, so we're going to do a bit more colouring now. So talk amongst yourselves. Just going to do a bit of shading on this. Some green. I keep opening this pen the wrong way around. I'm a brights girl. I do love the brights, but I like to mix the brights with other colours. Okay, let's colour our scissors in. And then just go with a little bit of purple. Let's colour in this piece of paper with purple. So we're going to use lots of colours here. This is actually Purple Posy that's discontinued, but I love it. go in with some blue. Let's do a bit of balmy blue, shall we? Can tell I've not used balmy blue for some time. That may have been Paul. No, that was balmy blue. I hope you're all hanging in there. What have I got here? Pink. Other colours have we got? We've got Calypso Coral is always a nice one. Let's do this paper. It's Calypso Coral. It's quite bright. It goes quite well with all those other colours that we've used. Let's do one of these bottles as Calypso Coral as well. And then we've got, let's go with Just Jade. Let's do this bottle behind here. Oh, I've forgotten the lid there. Oh, that's a great idea. Watercolour pencils on holiday. So you can do some colouring by the pool. That sounds like a real treat. And then let's do a little bit of, should we do crumb cake through the ribbon? Yeah, let's do some crumb cake through the ribbon. And I'm going to do all the ribbon the same colour. I feel like I needed this night. It's been a really, really busy, full-on day at school today. And then on a Wednesday we have clubs and lots of things happening. So I definitely feel like I need this. Okay, now let's go with some dark smoky slate on these scissor handles. If you notice with my colouring, I'm doing lots of small strokes. Okay, let's have a little bit of mint macaron in here. I feel like we've not got much pinks now. Let's do another purple, shall we? Let's do a purple over there. Let's do another yellow. I'm going to do these pencils as yellow because pencils tend to be yellow, don't they? And then we've got some pool party. All the colouring tonight, girls. I've chosen something. Let's do that one and that one. That's that colour. And then I'm just going to do these barrels of these pens in grey granite. Okay, so I've used what feels like every single colour. Just going to do a bit of, what am I looking for? Just a little bit of this colour just under there. Okay, so I've used all of these colours that I now need to put away when I'm finished, and I am going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut around this edge, okay, to give me a really nice shaped edge of my card. And you can do this with any of your stamps. It works really nice with flowers, but it is a great little technique to do. It does work really nicely with that masking paper. If you don't have that, you could just use a little post-it note or just a piece of paper. So I'm just following this round. I'm going to use a little bit of Wink of Stella on that ribbon. There we have it. So that is now the edge of our card. We need to do something with this bit here. So I'm going to take myself a piece of white and I want to measure roughly what that distance is. So that's about 11. So let's go with 11 by, I'll fly in now, 10.5. Perfect, and then I'm going to use that painted texture embossing folder, which I've put just here, and let's emboss this. Always love embossing. So there's my embossed piece. And this then sits just on there like so. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down. And I'm going to stick this down flat because we don't want to see any of our stamping really. I'm just going to move that up so it just covers the edge of our stamping. Like so. So I really like this. The only thing is you do get your colouring coming through, but I think that's all part of a handmade card. I'm going to take my Wink of Stella pen, if I can find her to use. So Wink of Stella is like a glittery pen, and I'm going to just make that ribbon nice and shiny, nice and sparkly. So this is clear. And you can use this as a water brush as well. If you want to use this with your watercolour pens, it looks really, really nice. I think my Wink of Stella pen is nearly out as well, so I'm just going to go over it a couple of times to give myself a really nice sparkle. And it's a shame you won't really see this on the camera, but it looks lovely. Okay, so don't really think that is picking that up, but I think that looks lovely. Okay, so now we've done that, I'm going to bring in my linen thread again. Okay, and I'm going to tie this around my card. Oh. Got it all caught up in my scissors now. Right, that's just enough that we need. How are we doing there? Are we all still hanging on in there? I'm going to tie myself a reasonably big bow here. Like so. I'm just going to move that over a little bit, and then we're going to do a nice simple sentiment. And I'm going to heat emboss this. Got some black card here. Now this is way more in my comfort zone. Won't lie, I quite like this card. Okay, let's just have a look at the comments. So Darcy's put, just got the embossing folder but haven't had a chance to use it yet. I love this embossing folder. It is my favourite, or one of my favourites. I like this one, and I like the honeycomb one. I use a lot as well. So let's do a little bit of embossing. I'm going to use the same sentiment that I've used on my other card. This one here. You fill my day with happiness. So let's just stamp this down. I have got my embossing toolkit as well, which is really, really handy if you haven't got one of those yet. I thoroughly recommend getting one. Let's just set this. If in doubt, use black and white heat embossing. Just lifts everything. I'm doing all right. We're nearly an hour. That's because I was so indecisive a short moment ago, earlier on. I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did before. I'm going to cut it out so it's straight along the top, and then it's shaped around the bottom. We've done pretty well. Thank you for sticking with me this evening, everybody. Okay, so there we have our sentiment, and I'm going to stick that over my, put it down the right way, over my bow, so the bow is just purely there, for texture and nothing else really. Okay, so I'm going to stick that, just pop a little glue dot on top of that. Hi Louise, thanks for joining us. You could watch me fussy cut all day, oh bless you. Do love a bit of fussy cutting. Okay, so this is my second card tonight, Louise. The first one was really quite different for me. Oops, that's now stuck, isn't it? So let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. I'm going to stick one this end, and I'm going to stick one this end. And then that is going across my bow like that. Let's just trim off these ends, and then I'm going to stick down just a few little gems, nothing major because I don't really want to take anything away from this card. Just going to go with some nice simple basic rhinestones, and that will tie in nicely with our sparkle we've got on that ribbon. Okay, so that is the front of my card. You did nearly miss me, lovely. I'm nearly finished. I'll do a little recap for you. So all we've got now is the inside of our card. I think, do we need a piece of thin white? I don't know. Here's my thin white. So in my thin white, I am going to cut a piece that is 14.4 centimetres by 10. Yep, now I have to get this set up, bless you. It is a good one. But yeah, just go to Pinterest after this and have a little search, and you'll see some really, really lovely things. Okay, so I'm just adding that in to just add a bit of strength to the back of my card. And there we have it. That is my second card all finished. And we've used the Cheerful basket stamp set, which I'd love to be able to show you. Here it is. So this is my Cheerful basket stamp set. This one, there's not a basket inside. I've used the craft tools down the edge, and we've used some masking technique to create that. The first card looked like this. After a little while, it did take me a while to get cracking, and then these are two more that I have made over the last week using this set, just having a play around with different techniques, different colouring styles, and there we go. So that's the Cheerful basket stamp set. That is reduced in the sale for 24 hours only, from 11 o'clock tonight down to £15.30, so grab it while it's in the sale. And I am off to think about what I'm going to do with this little guy, so watch this space. Now you can join me on World Card Making Day if you wish, where I'm going to be using this stamp set with a bit more detail to create a few card designs. You have the option to purchase to join me with a kit, which is just £5, or you can add it in with the stamp set for a little bit extra. There's more information about that on my website, which is staceymarshall.co.uk. I hope you can join me. As I mentioned at the beginning, all of these items are available to purchase on my website, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and you will get to see me again. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Just over an hour we did together, so really appreciate you taking some of your time, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye for now.